Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a really long time since I updated, but I have so many videos I need to edit and I just want to take a little break from editing, spending a lot of time editing. So I decided to do something small and fast, and that's a Q&A. So yes, I'm going to be doing a small Q&A, and I want to give thanks to the person that created this tag. Her name is Catandbooks. I will leave a link to her channel down below if you guys want to go check it out. So yes, as you guys already saw in the title, it's going to be a Q&A with romance books. Before I start with the Q&A, I started reading romance last, and to start off, I had no idea this side of the romantic genre existed until I heard a podcast talk about it, and I got really curious. So I decided to get Kindle Unlimited because this person, her name is Gabby. She's a indie author. She talked a lot about Alessandra Hazard. So Gabby, this indie author, she talked a lot about Alessandra Hazard and her series Caluvia. So I decided to give it a try, and it did not disappoint. I ended up really liking the Caluvia series, and let me tell you, I read every single Alessandra Hazard book that there is. I read her Stray Guide series and every Caluvia book, and her new series, which is an Omegaverse type of series. So yeah, so that's my story on how I started reading romance. And let's get started with the Q&A. Just a little, if you guys see me going like this, I got a new phone and for some reason it keeps turning off while I'm recording, so you guys will see me doing this a lot. So let's start with the first question, which is the first romance you read. So I said I read Alessandra Hazard, but before that I read it's a Spanish book by the author I talked about. Her name is Gaby Figueroa, and she writes in Spanish. So that's the first book that I read, and let me go get it so I can show you. Okay, so this is the book that I first read. It's 1929 Ways of Staying by Your Side. So if you speak Spanish and you like to read an romance, this one is really good. It's a time travel, and destined to be together. I love stories with characters that are soulmates. As for an English book, I read Prince Masters by Alessandra Hazard. Let's go to the second question, which is, which book series have you reread? That would be Irresistible Poison by Alessandra Hazard. The amount of times I've gone to reread that book, it's unhealthy, let me tell you. It's unhealthy. So I have another series that I've got to reread a lot, and it's Wild Magic by Claire Cullen. She is an writer that tends to write more on the Omegaverse. I have an issue with Omegaverse. I can't seem to get enough of it. It's really good, and I really like Claire Cullen's writing style. Let's move on to the third question, which is, what is a book series that you hate but other people love? And for books, it would be Want Me by Nev Wilder. I hope I pronounced that right. And for series, it's Signs of Love by Anita Sunday. I started reading Want Me by Nev Wilder, and I just couldn't get into it. And for Signs of Love by Anita Sunday, again, I started reading it. I did finish a couple of books, but after the third book, I just couldn't anymore. I didn't really like it. I didn't enjoy the story, so I decided to just leave it. So the next question is a book that made you sob. I haven't found one yet. If anyone has sad books, recommend me one. I haven't found one that made me sob. Teary eye, yes, but not that like full on crying in the river. No. Okay, moving to the next one. It's a book you didn't expect to like but ended up loving, and I have it right here. Unhinged by Only James. This book right here, if you have read this book, you know what I'm talking about. It's an anti-hero type of book. It's dark romance. It's this book right here that started my obsession with the author Only James. I have this book to blame, and I don't regret ever reading it. Moving on, let's see, a series that you won't be finishing. A series I won't be finishing would be Fake Boyfriend by Eden Finley. I started reading the first book, and again, I just couldn't get into it. I'm sorry. Moving on, a trope that you don't like to read about. That would be polyamory relationships. Poly relationships, when it's more than two people. Yeah, so relationships where there's more than two people, I just cannot tolerate it. I don't like it. It's not for me, so I don't read it. A series, moving on again, I keep forgetting. A series you have yet to finish. That would be Guns and Boys by K.A. American. It's a dark romance mafia. It's really good. Before I continue, I want to say that K.A. American has a huge credit on my dark romance obsession. I blame them. All their stories are a dark romance, and they're really good. It feels wrong to say this, but I really like their stories, and they tend to be really effed up. And the Guns and Boys series has 12 books in them, and I think I'm in the 8th one, so not a lot to go on. But let's go to the 9th question, and that's a trope you didn't think you would like but actually do. And that would be sports and athlete type of books. So like I said, it would be sports, and the one that got me into it was Power Plays and Straight A's by Eden Finley and Saxon James. So this series focuses on college students in a hockey team. This one is a best friend's brother. It has that jock and nerd type of characters. So yeah, I have this one to blame. I finished the entire series, and I had to get the first one, and I'm soon going to be buying the other ones because they're really good. So moving on to the last question, which is an author you just can't seem to get into, and that would be Anita Sunday. I've tried to read her other books, and they're not for me. I stopped reading them like not even halfway through. Okay, we're almost done with the questions. I just have to do the 2 bonus ones, and the first one is a book that isn't raved about but you think it deserves more. And for that, it's a whole series for me, not just a book. And it starts with The Engineer by C.S. Poe, followed by The Gangster, and the newest edition, which is The Doctor. Those books are really good, and I think they deserve a lot more hyped. I think more people, especially if you read romance, you should give these books a try. So this is a steampunk type of book. It has forbidden romance between a cop and a fugitive, no, a wanted man. It's set in the 1880s. Yes. So this one is the first one, which is the engineer. It's not that long. I think it has, so this one has 140 pages. It's not really long. You go through it really fast, and this one is an introduction to the characters and what's going on and why our wanted man is a wanted man, basically. And you get a little bit of the romance between them, but not a lot. It starts to develop more in the second book, and we have, in each book, we kind of have them, the two main characters, fight an enemy, kind of like a criminal, basically. So if you're not sure you're going to be into it, just buy this one. It's, like I said, it won't take a lot of time for you to read, and then once you read it, you might give the other ones a try. Just give them a try. They're my favorite books. I love them. They're in my heart. Okay, moving to the second bonus question, which is, what is your favorite romance of all time? And that's a hard one. That's a hard one to answer. I guess, okay, I'm going to answer this one with the book I've reread the most, and that's Omega's Gamble by Claire Cullen. Like I said, I really like her stories and the way she writes, and this one is one that I really loved. And again, the amount of times I've gone to reread it, it's unhealthy. And like I said, Claire Cullen focuses more on Omega Burst type of story. So in this one, it's a arranged marriage type of situation where one wants to marry because he wants to escape his family, and the other one really doesn't want to marry. But they end up getting married, and things start to develop. The beginning and everything in between is really good. I felt like the ending was a little bit rushed, and I wished it could have been less unrushed. If the book had like 50 pages more just for that ending, I wouldn't have mind. But it is what it is. I didn't write it, but I still really liked it. Yeah. So I'm going to add an extra question to this one, and it's going to be your current favorite romance. And for me, that would be A Prince of Sorrows. Look at this cover, guys. It's so beautiful. Did I added this question just so I could talk about this book? Yes, I did. So I first want to say that I was about to DNF this book, but I pushed through it, and I do not regret it. I finished reading this book in 2 days. 2 days. That's a record for me, and I really love it. It's my current favorite. I plan on rereading this one very soon because the second book comes out in August. So even though I read it like in April, I do plan on reading this one next month. I have a lot of books I'm currently reading, so it will have to wait. But I'm obsessed. Let me read you a little bit about it, like what's on the back. Okay. There are only 2 ways to compel a high fae: with their true name or with a wild fairy fruit. So this book is really good, and it's getting compared to Cruel Prince, which in a way I do see why it's getting compared, but unlike Cruel Prince, that its main focus is politics and the crown and the throne, and the romance is a little bit on the side. this one has more mystery to it. Yeah. So this one is more on the mystery side of things. There's a wolf hunting the humans that are working for the Fae. In this world, humans don't get to be educated with the Fae. The humans in this world, in this book, are only meant to serve the Fae, to serve them in whatever way the Fae wants them to. And it's really interesting. It's the romance between the two characters is developed at a good pace, and I love it. I feel like I say that a lot about the books, but this one has been living on my brain rent free since the moment I read it. I can't stop thinking about it, and I want to reread it now. With just talking to you guys about it, I want to reread it now. So I'm going to end the video here, and I hope you guys liked today's video. I hope you guys liked today's video. I really like doing this. I've been planning on recording this video for a while, but I just couldn't get the time to sit down and talk to you guys about all these books, amazing books. And yeah, I hope you guys, if you guys read romance, give me your recommendations, especially ones to cry with that will make me cry. So if you don't read romance, let me know down in the comments below. Would you guys like for me to do a video recommendation for beginners? Is it books to read? I also have read a lot of, well, not a lot, but I've read a couple of romance books in Spanish. So if you speak Spanish and you want me to recommend some of them, also let me know. And that would be all. And I hope you guys give some of these books a try if you haven't read them. If you have, let me know what you thought about them. And that would be all for today's video. I hope you guys liked it. I hope I keep you guys entertained for a while, and I will see you on my next video. Take care. Bye bye.